Hello everybody, it's Yannick Collins and welcome to Oz a Living. In this episode in the land of Oz, we have a very special guest. I am joined today by the co-founder and blockchain strategist for Oz, Vincent Choy. Great to have you today.
Thank you for having me.
I know, first time to have you on the channel, first of the many. I'm very excited. So I wanted to begin with introductions. So for context, could you tell our viewers a little bit of a background about yourself and how you got into this space?
Sure. I've been an entrepreneur for a pretty long time. I've been in business for a pretty long time. Started off actually with exhibitions and events, and then moved on to distributing products and really got into the renewable energy and sustainability space for a while. I started an association called the Asia Pacific Biogas Alliance, and I spoke at UN events and really about sustainability, and that was something that we were looking at. I chanced onto blockchain somewhere in 2016. When it was actually a conversation in the Philippines. It was with the Secretary of Energy, and he was saying, you know, this blockchain thing that everybody's talking about, can it be applied in the energy industry? I was like, I'm not actually sure. I don't even know what blockchain was at that time. And I was like, okay, this is something I really need to go and read up about, and I think that this is something that was very interesting, and it was like I read that it was changing a lot of things. So I dived right into it and started understanding a little bit more, started studying what it was, watched a lot of YouTube videos, read a lot of books, and then I realized, hey, this technology is very interesting. It actually had a potential to revolutionize a lot of processes, a lot of the businesses and government processes that currently having. This could actually make a lot of changes. I saw it from the energy perspective, I saw it from the renewable energy perspective. At that point, we were struggling with something. That was carbon credits. I'm not sure if you're familiar with carbon credits. The audit process for carbon credits was so onerous that it often you are going to earn $5,000 for carbon credits if you actually do a renewable energy project, but you're going to pay $9,000 for the audit, right? Just to prove that these carbon credits exist. It was ridiculous. And I thought that technology could change all of that. And blockchain, by creating a trustless environment where things can be verified and oracles can be involved to create data points, it was like, hey, this technology could potentially change the way sustainability works. So I was very keen. I dived a lot more into it, studied a lot more. And through my event company, I started the Blockchain Asia Forum. And the first event we host was actually in the Philippines, was in Manila.
And you're the one who organized that.
We're the one
first
who
ever
organized
blockchain
it.
conference in Asia.
Yes, it was the first ever blockchain conference that focused on blockchain technology. Now, there were a lot of cryptocurrency events at that point. In 2017, it was the ICO craze. Everybody was jumping into it because it was an insanely easy way to raise money, right? They start up a cryptocurrency project, they launched tokens, people bought those tokens. A lot of these projects ended up scams, ended up like under-living its promises, because a lot of people who actually started these projects have no business background and have actually no idea what they're doing. And they saw blockchain more as a way of making quick money by issuing tokens rather than what blockchain technology could do. So I actually organized a forum and say, hey, I want to explore blockchain as a technology. I want to bring it to businesses. I want to bring it to governments. I want to bring people. I want to look at this as a technology perspective and how this technology could actually impact, change the way governments process information and change the way how businesses run processes. So from the first Blockchain Asia Forum, it was quite well received. We really talk about the technology, really talk about applications. I learned so much from everybody. I chaired a lot of the panels, and I learned a lot while I was also contributing whatever I've learned so far. And it was great. It was a very, very good experience. So, and it started from there. It really started from there. And self-taught myself a lot of things. I dived into the technologies. It was proof of work, then was proof of stake, then was all sorts of hybrid consensus mechanisms. The IBM Hyperledger came out with Bataan fault tolerance as consent. So all sorts of things, and we started really diving into the technology and understanding a lot more about it. And then we started organizing the Blockchain Asia Forum in Indonesia, where I learned a lot more about the markets there. In Singapore, we learned a lot more about the markets there and the application of the technology there. Accumulated really in when we started in Indonesia. It was a huge event. It was like thousands of people attended, and there was technology. This is not about selling crypto and making money, mind you. So they're not as well attended as some of these exhibitions where you see tens of thousands of people because they're there for a very different purpose. We are B2B. We want to invite businesses and really talk about technology. We accumulated in a joint venture with Kadin, which was the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It's a government-led organization that basically was the Chamber of Commerce for about 92,000 big companies in Indonesia. So we formed a joint venture and we opened the Blockchain Center of Excellence and Education, BCEE. I became its first president. And we went to Indonesia and started educating industries B2B. We ran workshops for 100 over financial institutions on how to use blockchain technology and how blockchain technology can change the way the bank does things. We did workshops on the mining industry, for the oil and gas industry, and really about introducing blockchain as a technology, not as a get-rich-quick tool.
Amazing, and I really admire that you've done so many wonderful things in this space in such a short span of time. Now, I want to quickly move on to Oz. Could you briefly explain to them what Oz is all about and how did this came about? Tell us the story.
Sure. So, I complained a lot about those crypto projects that came out. A lot of them were scams, and a lot of people didn't know what they were doing. A lot of projects were technology for technology implementation. They forget that blockchain technology at its core is a technology. It's a tool. It's a tool that is supposed to make our lives better. It's a tool that is supposed to make processes simpler, cut our costs, and let us be able to achieve our desired results faster. But when we look out in the world and we look at all the projects out there right now, and we're like saying, there's actually no project out there that impacts our real world life, that impacts the way I live, that gives me the benefits of decentralization and blockchain right now. Now, if a company does it, a company comes out and say, okay, I'm going to start a blockchain project, I'm going to cut my process, I'm going to cut my costs. They don't cut, unless a competitors come in and do the same thing, they are not actually cutting costs for the consumer. They're making it as margin. They're lining their pockets to become richer and richer. So there wasn't a community-led, community-structured project that helped people reap the benefits, actually connect real-world living with the digital assets and the cryptocurrency space. So when Jin was telling me about his project, I saw his potential. It was like, oh, okay, he invited me in. I was like the second guy to hop into Oz, and I was like, okay, we're going to do this. This is what we've achieved so far, and that what he wanted to do. I was like, oh, the potential is there because he already gotten the regulations part, the regulatory part sorted out. Now it's about designing a structure, designing tokenomics, designing how blockchain technology is applied to actually impact the community that we're going to build around Oz. And so that's it. I mean, in a nutshell, Oz is a project that we started that want to bring the benefits of decentralization, of blockchain technology to the community that we built.
All right, fantastic. Beautifully said. And now talk to us about the eco zones.
So we started with eco zones. If you're not familiar, so eco zones are basically geographically delimited areas. They're set up by government, basically to attract foreign direct investment into a country. Right, a lot of eco zones that you're familiar with that created big changes is like Shenzhen, for example, in China. They led the entire capitalist drive in China and converted China from where it was to where it is today. It all started with an eco zone, with a free trade zone, and it was called Shenzhen. But what you don't know is that there are 5,400 eco zones around the world. In fact, there's more than 5,400. 5,400 was a 2019 figure, before COVID actually struck. And there's actually more right now. But most of the time, most people don't know about their existence because they haven't done a good job in promoting it. And furthermore, eco zones have this, a lot of eco zones are stuck in this, what I call an old economy concept.
Yes.
Where they create eco zones to bring in manufacturing jobs. And when I say low cost manufacturing jobs, where they're giving their people the options to work in a factory to assemble handphones or electronics or it's low cost manufacturing. But when we look at eco zones, we saw a fantastic potential for these places that was geographically set up to attract foreign direct investment to directly plug into the digital economy. The digital asset industry, okay, right now it's taken a beating. It's about $1.7, $1.8 trillion industry, but at one point it was like nearly $3 trillion, like just like last year. This industry actually has no base and nowhere to channel all these financial assets, all this financial muscle into building anything real. Eco zones can be the perfect launch pad for a $3 trillion industry to focus their eyesights on to build real-world living applications. And this was missing. This was really a big missing link. And what the beauty of eco zones is that they are governments within a government that is able to set their own rules, their own laws, that is outside of the jurisdiction of the country in which it's based. So think of it this way. It's a perfect sandbox. It's very dangerous for and destabilizing for an entire country to say, let's do blockchain and cryptocurrency straight away. Because a lot of this industry is new. There's so much change, there's so many scams. Nobody really knows what to do. Blockchain is unfortunately immature and unfortunately has been plagued by very bad actors. But a special economic zone can be a sandbox. I'm going to try this regulation here. I'm going to try to tweak this regulation a little bit to protect my users a little bit more. I'm going to try to tweak this in order to help my industry a little bit more. I'm going to make it a little bit more innovative, and I'm able to do this, I'm able to do that. So the sandbox environment is then able to become a template for the entire country to say, hey, this little sandbox here has brought billions of dollars to my economy, has created thousands of high-paying, good quality jobs that are future-proof. Why don't I do it for my whole country? Right? So this then creates opportunities for countries to adopt commonsensical, commercially driven, innovative regulatory frameworks for cryptocurrency. And I think it's that missing link. It's this, and we at OZ recognize this. We went to work with a special economic zone, got some special legislation passed, managed to partner with them, and then we are able to now bring this to the rest of the world.
And the ecozone that's actually setting this goal up is your flagship ecozone, which is Bataan. What is the potential that we're seeing for that area?
Bataan is okay, first of all, congratulations. I think Philippines have done a great job with its special economic zones. Bataan is, as I see it, one of the first, largest, and most progressive special economic zone in the Philippines. It was willing to take the step where it comes to inviting digital asset economy and growing. I'm very surprised we managed to get our Residency-Enabled token passed through. The way we structured the entire thing was, I thought was a pretty very, very interesting application of blockchain tokenization and applying it to a real world residency program where people can enjoy the benefits of living in tax-free privacy protection, and it's quite interesting. So it's not interesting. I mean, I thought it was amazing. It's really something that could that can grow. Bataan, as it is, it's a 500 hectare development. We want to grow it into another Dubai and make it into a very modern offshore center of finance and industry. It's geographically very well situated, I would say. It's right across the bay from Manila, and it's right in the path of urban sprawl. Manila has been growing tremendously over the last 10 years. We've managed there's going to be a bridge that's going to be built from Cavite, linking Manila directly to the free trade zone, which will boost economy a lot and also encourage urban sprawl into the area. It's close to the Silk Road, the new Silk Road. $9 trillion worth of trade flow from China to the rest of the world there every year, and it is deep sea port capable. So it has all the geographical advantages of being able to develop into a port city that has a lot of potential, and we're very, very excited to partner with FAB to launch OZ and be able to help develop the free trade zone.
Not to mention, Bataan Blockchain City is being established as well.
Precisely, that's what we're doing there.
Exactly. Now, talk to me about the TOTOz token, as you mentioned.
Right. So TOTOz to me, okay, I designed it, but it's a very interesting application of blockchain tokenization technology, tokenization and tokenomics, right? The TOTOz token is the world's first residency-enabled token. We make residency, which is typically a product of a government, right, into a tokenized asset, into something that people is something as simple as buying a token, sticking it in a wallet, and I can become a resident in any of our partner countries. Of course, our first partner country is the Philippines, that I keep talking about. So the good thing about why I believe that a tokenized residency is a lot better is because the majority of the world's residency programs today are actually dominated by real estate investment. A lot of people, when they want to move to another country, and residency by investment is a very, very common thing. Almost every country has it. When they come in, the only path that they know how to take is to buy house or real estate. Whether or not they want to stay there doesn't matter. They buy the house or they buy real estate. That is an unproductive investment. It does nothing for the economy. A real estate, the only thing that does is it drives up the real estate prices for the locals who are living there. People complain all the time. Politicians get kicked out because of this. If they invite too many foreigners to come in, they need foreigners to come in to invest and to grow the economy. But by inviting too many foreigners in, they drive up the price of the housing and the local population complains. That's because the only avenue or the main avenue for driving investments in the country is limited land. Okay. But tokenization creates a whole new frontier. It's an asset that is on a digital realm. If I create it on a digital realm, I invest in it, I recognize that investment. That investment can then go into developing the physical infrastructure and physical development of the city, while living in a digital space and scalable. It's infinitely scalable. I can bring in as many residents to invest in my country as I can physically think of, without causing inflation for the people that are already living there.
Exactly.
Right, so the tokenization effort of residency, and why this project really excites me, is that it's really a better mousetrap.
Yes.
If I tokenize residency, I create a residency program that people would want, I can infinitely scale this product. And the way we design it is a fixed supply token. Every time a resident comes in, they block up their tokens. They then lock up their tokens for 5 years. The total circulating supply of the tokens keep falling as residency comes in.
Yes.
So the proof of work, the concept of proof of work, where Bitcoin has to solve mathematical stuff and before it becomes more value, before it spits out another Bitcoin, the concept of proof of work to grow the value of our token is as simple as asking another person to come and join us. Asking another person to say, come, do you want to live tax-free in a country that can have that has a regulatory sandbox for crypto and blockchain and digital asset projects, and you can operate here freely. Yeah. If you want all these things, you come and join me. You are growing your own wealth, because that is essentially its proof of work. By reducing the circulating supply and the price point of participation remains the same, every single token becomes more valuable.
Exactly.
What does that mean to an early resident? If I come in early, I've locked up my tokens. It's like my savings. It's locked up in my own wallet. And I keep seeing this growing in value because the price of every individual token is rising. I'm looking at this saving pool rise. And the best part about this saving pool is that after 5 years, all the tokens are unlocked back to me. I can retain my my residency by locking up $100,000, and I can sell the rest of the tokens. If it's principally driven by real estate, if I sell my property because the price of the property has risen, where do I stay? I build a tent and I stay on the streets to realize the gains? I don't. But this system of governance is able to create wealth, is able to help people build their assets and participate in the growth of the special economic zone or the city that they are contributing to build. And by contributing to the wealth, the well-being and economic growth of that city, they see their wealth become higher and higher, and they're able to monetize it.
This all sounds so good to be true. But if I were an interested investor, talk to me about the process.
It's a very simple process. It's buying a token. It's a liquid asset. You go to you can, as of now, you can go to our wallet, right? You go on a wallet, you just transfer your USDT or USDC or whichever cryptocurrency into the wallet, and you swap it for the TOTOz tokens. You stake enough tokens, $100,000 worth, you become a resident, or you can just buy and wait for it to appreciate, then you become a resident, or you buy it from any of the exchanges we're going to list on. So it's a liquid asset.
Amazing. And so you as of now, you have the Bataan as a first ecozone. Are you currently in the talks with other countries, and what are you looking to lock in within the year?
So we are talking to about 10 other countries right now. Like I said, it is a bit better mousetrap, and we're presenting that to other governments. We hope to be in at least 3 countries by the end of this year, and about 5 to 7 by the end of next. So what that means for our community and our users is what we would like to, a term that we like to coin, resident portability. It means right now it's a staking agreement. You stake your tokens, you're now a resident of the Philippines. If after 3 years you want to move to another place, you unstake your tokens, you lose your residency in the Philippines, but you can move to whichever country we are operating in next. You stake your tokens there, and then you're a resident of another country. So you're able to move your assets and your residency with your tokens as you go.
And one key element that I found was the OzDAO. Could you expound more on that?
Right. So we want to, so one of the principles, like I said, when we did this project, we really wanted to share, right? We don't want this to be a project like for a company where they earn the profits and everything. We wanted to share. So me and Jin, our direction is really, this has to be a DAO. This has to be owned by the community, and everyone in the community benefits from this project. So we are moving towards the DAO. We're not there yet. A lot of the elements of what we're doing right now requires a lot of centralized decision making, as well as centralized proposals to governments and things. But once we get the framework in place, we're already setting up ourselves in Switzerland right now in an association to guarantee voting rights for members. Membership will be by our governance tokens, where these will be airdropped to all our residents over time. We intend to drip it out over 5 years, and these then give residents voting rights. They get the right to vote on how to use the treasury. What do you invest in? Do you build a public school here? Would you raise the value of the entire thing? Do you build a road? Do you build a port? Or do you take it and invest in another economic zone in another country? The DAO decides. Our members, our community decides.
Well, Vince, this has been such an interesting conversation. My mind continues to blow every single time. And I think we have a lot more to discuss about the Oz ecosystem, as it's so huge and enormous, and a lot more developments are on its way. So I would love for you to have around again so in the future. But thank you so much for your time today. It's such a huge pleasure.
Thank you, Yan. Thank you.